What is up, fellas? Today we're going to be talking about our E3 predictions. I'm joined by my good boy Ryan.
Here, as always, E3 is in 2 weeks, and I've got a lot of shit written down that I'm ready to talk about.
Hell yeah. So, Ryan, would you like to go first?
Yes, I would. So, we have a list of a bunch of companies we're going to talk about, and first off the map is Square Enix. And there are a number of things that they've announced that they're working on that I think they're going to talk about at E3. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake is definitely up there. They showed it in the PlayStation State of Play, but I think there's more that they haven't shown us yet because that new upgrade is $70 on top of the already $60 Final Fantasy VII Remake. So there's got to be stuff that makes it a bang for its buck. Not just a graphical upgrade like what they show. There's got to be more to it than that. Additionally, there's also Final Fantasy 16, which was in the PlayStation presentation, but all we've seen from it is basically a trailer, and it shows a lot of promise. It's a lot grittier than other Final Fantasy games. It's like it's going through its own emo phase, but I want to see what it looks like because this is like the supposed Xbox challenger everyone's
Mhm.
talking about. Dragon Quest 12. If you know me, I need that shit. I need it now. I need it injected in my veins. Dragon Quest 12, Flames of Fate. It also looks like Final Fantasy 16 to be a bit edgier than the other Dragon Quest, but I want to see that new protagonist. I want to see the new characters. I want to see the gameplay. I know it's going to be turn based and the same thing as usual, but I eat that stuff up like I got it from the grocery market. So, Project Athia, I I think that got its title, but I'm just going to call it Project Athia. The game everybody thought was going to be Tomb Raider, but it wasn't, and they will totally be showing that, and everybody will look past it until suddenly they show like that new Life is Strange that came out with a trailer, and the Life is Strange remastered collection that goes alongside it. That's all I got for Square Enix. Well, predictions. I still have like other stuff to talk about, but you need to have your turn.
Yeah, I basically said that they're going to show off some new Final Fantasy shit, but I went off on a little bit of a limb because I guarantee you they're gonna show off some new like Avengers characters for their flop, and I'm still holding out for a new Gex to this day. Bring him back. All right.
I
So
mean, it's
next we
always a possibility.
it is a possibility.
I still have my outlandish wild card predictions for Square Enix.
It must be
So
Gex.
in Dream E3 and a perfect E3 where everything goes as I want it to personally, Square Enix starts with a Super Mario RPG console port. I want that so bad. I want them to remaster Chrono Trigger because the last time Chrono Trigger came out on a console, it was the goddamn DS. And the DS version had cutscenes, but they were fucking compressed. They were ruined. The integrity. They were hand drawn cutscenes, so they were ruined by the DS. I of course want Gex 4. You know, we got
Good.
Crash Bandicoot 4, Metroid Prime 4. Where the hell is Gex 4? That series
Exactly.
is outselling Persona. Why not keep that shit going? And lastly, I said I wanted a Taito collection because Square Enix owns Taito because I want to play Bubble Bobble. That's the only reason because they obviously are not going to put the NES Bubble Bobble on Nintendo Switch Online. They do have it on Arcade Archives, but I'm not paying that much money for it. It's probably going to be on Game Pass if they ever do it. That's all I got for Square Enix. We can actually move on now.
Yep. We have Warner Brothers next, right?
Yes.
All right. Do I go first?
Yeah, because you're a lot more passionate about Warner Brothers than I am.
Oh, yes. So, I'm gonna kick things off with they better show Combat Pack 3. The last time they showed something off for Mortal Kombat 11 was in November, I believe, and my heart was fucking broken. Okay, give me Reptile, and I will give you my money. Okay, and so next we have. I think they're just gonna show off like the major things they're gonna show off is the new Suicide Squad game that
Kill
I
the
don't.
Justice League.
Oh my god, the Justice League! That
That game's
nobody's
gonna be
gonna play that
so
game.
good.
I let's get a little sidetracked here. Just a little quick note. I rewatched the Suicide Squad movie the other day. God awful.
What were you
I want my
expecting going into it?
yep. Uh oh, and so the last game I have is the new Batman Arkham Knights game, which I'm kind of excited for. All right, Ryan.
So on my end for Warner Brothers, your preference for that company is the Mortal Kombat series, but
Y-
Warner Brothers owns TT Games, who makes the Lego games. Give me Lego Star Wars. I will pay full price for it, and I cannot say that for any other game on the entire console. I will pay full price if that game doesn't come on Game Pass. I want to do Anakin versus Obi-Wan in HD 4K, even though my TV does not do 4K. Let's check the perfect E3 and see if I had anything for Warner Brothers. No, I skipped straight past them. Give me Lego Star Wars.
Is that all you had for Warner Brothers?
I just wanted Lego, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Next we have Take Two. Go ahead, Ryan.
Take Two is interesting because when you think of Take Two, you're like, what the hell do they develop? The companies that they own are more popular than the companies themselves.
Yeah,
Take Two
little
is
fun
responsible.
fact behind the scenes. When the whole like roster for E3 was like put out, I think Take Two was like the only company here I actually had to look up, but surprised. All right, go on.
Yeah, but they own the subsidiaries, and that's what everybody cares about. So
Yeah,
of course, Take Two owns 2K. They're obviously going to announce new sports game. It's definitely not the
yucky.
same as the other sports games that released the past 10 years. They will not do Red Dead 3. It's too way too soon.
Yeah, no.
But there is always the small, meager possibility that this
Mm-hmm.
is the year they'll announce GTA 6. It can happen. This is the perfect time for them to say, now in development. Because how many years has GTA 5 been out for? When did it come out? Oh, yeah, 2013. And development started
Mm-hmm.
in 2008. I was nearly a baby when they started on GTA 5. They better do something for GTA 6. There will be controversy if they don't do it. If the fact that they're there at all implies that it will be coming, it's
Yep.
going to happen. It has to. I'm desperate for it, and I don't even like the game.
Yeah. Um, is that all you had?
Well, yeah, what else does Take Two even have?
Exactly. Um, I said pretty much the same thing. However, I think that they're gonna show off GTA 6, but it's going to be the way that like Bethesda showed off Elder Scrolls 6 by just showing the map for like 2 seconds, and then they're gonna show that, and then they're gonna show the new update for GTA 5, and then they're just gonna say "fuck you" to Red Dead Online.
Shut it
That's
down completely.
mhm.
You guys prefer the single player, anyways.
Yes, indeedy. All right, Ubisoft.
I have a lot of high hopes for Ubisoft this
Mhm.
year. Let's start with the obvious. Far Cry 6 will be at E3, whether
Yep.
it be gameplay, a new full ass 10-minute cutscene with the cool enemy guy
Mhm.
talking to someone. They will definitely be showing gameplay. They showed like character bios like earlier today, like 10 hours ago.
Yep.
Ubisoft is obviously going to show Just Dance, and I hope they do what they do every year and do a Just Dance live performance with like the guy in the panda costume. Except this time they're dancing to "Call Me When You Want, Call Me by Your Name,"
God fuck damn it.
and then it's gonna win the Kids Choice Awards when that happens this year. If it didn't happen already, if so, it's gonna win 2022 unless Among Us beats it.
Yeah.
Lastly, in my legitimate predictions, where the fuck is Rayman,
There
Ubisoft?
it
He is your mascot. Where is he? Make Rayman.
is.
People are
Is
desperate. So,
is Rayman the one with the rabbit fellas?
so Rayman started out as his own franchise, and then they were gonna make a game where he like beats the shit out of rabbits, but they turned it into a party game, and they just put Rayman's name at the beginning. So, and then the rabbits became more popular than Rayman did, and it's just unfair. Now people consider the rabbits the mascots of Ubisoft, even though they are the minions of video games.
I always thought Rayman was a duck.
Actually, if you ever played Rayman Legends, you're in luck because there's a level called What the Duck, where he turns into a duck.
Alright, yeah. Alright.
I want to see a good Watch Dogs this time.
Never gonna happen.
All I have to go by with the Watch Dogs Legions is the critical moist meter, where he single handedly killed the game by himself.
Big
That
Moy.
Rayman game has to be 2D also. That's it
Mhm.
for Ubisoft for me.
Yeah. Alright, so what I had for Ubisoft was Just Dance, obviously, but also they're they're more than likely gonna show off a Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC.
Maybe even a
Hopefully,
new Assassin's Creed because those come out every year.
yeah, that is true. If I was gonna hope for one, we already got pirates. I hope for cowboys. That'd be pretty cool.
Red Dead Assassin's Creed.
Red Dead Creed.
Well, that'll fill up the Red Dead 3 shaped hole in everyone's hearts.
Mhm. And, Far Cry 6. Like, they what they showed off today was amazing. There is a pet crocodile in a T-shirt. His name is Guapo, which means handsome in Spanish, and a disabled puppy named Chorizo.
I love the puppy. That's the only gameplay of a game I've seen. Like the good boy.
You know they've people are already saying, mostly PlayStation players are saying that it looks like it belongs on the PlayStation 3.
Okay, but
It it looks
why not
fucking
just enjoy the
beautiful.
fucking video game instead of talking
Exactly.
about graphics? Actually,
Shows
I shouldn't
fat
be saying
Aloy.
that because I'm an Xbox person, but
Fat Aloy moment. Alright, now we have Capcom.
like Ubisoft, I have high expectations for Capcom because of
Mm,
that Capcom leak that happened earlier this month, where they said they were going to localize a bunch of Ace Attorney games, maybe change their infrastructure a little. But the big one is Street Fighter 6 because
mhm,
Street Fighter 5 has been out since 2015. That's 6 years, and they didn't even get rollback net code in the game, so it doesn't run as good as other fighting games. But Street Fighter 6, it's going to look really good and hopefully revitalize the franchise so people other than 30 to 40-year-old people will play it at the next Evo. I am also expecting Mega Man 12, not Mega Man X9, Mega Man Zero, Mega Man ZX, Mega Man Star Force, Mega Man Battle Network. Not anything like that. I'm just expecting a regular Mega Man where he beats 9 robot masters and then Dr. Wily flies away at the end. It's a never ending loop because they don't want to change anything in the series. And I understand that, but I fucking preferred Mighty Number
mm,
9 over all of it, despite Johnny Nintendo Man with 8-bit plushes in his background saying that it's not a good game. There are pizza explosions.
mhm,
And lastly, since Disney completely ruined Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm expecting a Capcom fighting game. It might just be Capcom, but they might come up with some other random ass like company to collaborate with, like when they did Tatsunoko versus Capcom or SNK versus Capcom.
I wouldn't
Maybe
be
they'll
surprised if it's, like, a collaboration with, like, other, like, video game characters, because they have a strong
Super
bond with, like,
Cat
Nintendo.
Brothers. What I expect is like if they were to do a fighting game, hopefully Namco versus Capcom. That would be really cool because they got Pac-Man to work in Tekken. He just had a huge mech with him.
Yeah.
And in my perfect E3 description, I had a lot of shit for Capcom. So I want Capcom to regain the Disney game license, and I'm not talking about the MCU shit. Back in the Super Nintendo games, they handled DuckTales video game, Darkwing Duck video game, Chip and Dale video game, Goof Troop video game, Quack Pack video game, Aladdin video game. They ruled the Disney game landscape with an iron fist, and I want to see them do that again because Aladdin was one of the best-selling games on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, and they actually got Disney animators to do the sprites for it. So if they got the license back, I'm sure they could make some Disney magic happen with the old mouse ears or whatever.
Mhm.
And lastly, I want to see a new Darkstalkers because those people have been waiting for like 10 years. Just do it already. That's Capcom for me.
Um, so Capcom, they, like what for before I go on to mine, I have isn't Street Fighter 5 only on PlayStation?
It's also on PC, but I believe console-wise, it's only on PlayStation.
So won't Street Fighter 6?
Who knows? Past Street Fighter games have made it to Xbox, like the Anniversary Collection, which were like 11 Street Fighter games in one, and that was also on Switch. That was on all consoles.
Mhm.
So maybe they could change that. Maybe they just had one deal with Street Fighter 5, and that was it.
Hopefully. Alright, so for Capcom, I had, I did write down a Street Fighter game, but I also, like, everything I think, I have a bunch of DLC predictions, and Monster Hunter Rise is 100% getting one. I don't know if it's gonna be showing off for Capcom or Nintendo,
I
but it's a
forgot
100.
about Monster Hunter. Everyone's
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about that.
It always comes back to bite you in the ass.
I
It's
don't even
always
like
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. Who the hell does?
I
Besides
like
everybody.
I you and I need to play it. We'll stream that or some shit. It's okay. You probably would like it.
That's a
Um
surprise.
all right. Now we have Bandai Namco. Go ahead.
When I think of Namco, I don't think of any new franchises they make. I
Mm,
immediately think of the arcade when I think of Namco. You have to say Bandai Namco for me to once think of maybe Tekken. And
mm,
Tekken will obviously be there. They'll obviously get DLC. It would be amazing if they put like Kiryu from Yakuza in Tekken. He even has the music to go with it and the ridiculous nature to go with it. I would also it would be my dream to see Bandai Namco do Pac-Man World 4 because the
mm.
Pac-Man World games are some of the best Pac-Man games ever, and you only go in the maze like for when you like go in a little arcade and play the original Pac-Man. It's a nice little Easter egg for all those gaming people. And Bandai Namco holds the license to like every anime ever made for video games. And they also have Arc System Works under their wing, who developed Dragon Ball Fighters. So I want to see another fighting game like that or Guilty Gear because I absolutely love that style to bits. And I if I like the characters, I end up liking the game. That's basically how it goes for Bandai Namco. But let me check my perfect E3 and see if I put anything else. I skipped over them. You can go now.
All right. Um so I completely agree that fucking Bandai does not branch out. And um so Bandai was kind of hard to think about because like I would have said a fighting game like Jump Force where it's a big old crossover, but we all know how that turned out. So I just
That's
said
what happens when you don't get Arc System Works to make your fighting game.
so that's why I just put new Dragon Ball game. Don't know if it's a fighting game, but like just a Dragon Ball game. But also I demand a Godzilla game
Does
on the
Namco hold the
Xbox.
license for the Godzilla games?
For yeah, for the games. I demand it on the Xbox. The last one came out on PlayStation, and boy, we all know who that sucked. Nobody played it. Maybe you would have
I'd
had more
never
people
heard of it
play it.
until you started talking to me about it.
Yeah, well, it's a disaster. It's a real disaster, and it's been like almost 8 years since the last Godzilla game, and even more since the last good Godzilla game. So, what the fuck are you doing, retard? All right, keep going. Next we have Sega.
I think Sega, besides the heavy hitters that are coming up, is the
Mhm.
one I have the most hopes for of all. Like this E3 is going to be so good, but I don't
Hopefully.
think it's going to have anything I'm about to list.
All right.
Besides the obvious, Sonic Rangers, they're definitely going to be showing that
Oh
because
yeah.
when they released a preview for Sonic Unleashed all the way back in like 2007, it was like
weeks leading up to E3. And then when E3 happened, they showed gameplay. So it's definitely going to happen for Sonic Rangers.
Hmm.
I think that 4chan leak is real. It's going to be open world. There's going to be all sorts of platforming challenges. Roger's back as Sonic. I hope the graphics are better than they ever were because this is coming to next gen consoles. This better be the best Sonic ever looks. And the game better be good because it's been 10 years since the last good 3D Sonic game. Sonic Mania was good too, but I can't name any other Sonic game I enjoyed. I bought Sonic Forces for $40 and now it's on clearance bins for like $15. So they better take their time. I don't care if they don't announce a release date at E3. They need to take their time this time because I'm pretty sure they rushed Sonic Forces out just like they did Sonic 06. We know how both of those games went. They are notorious even to this day. Sonic 06 is like considered a shit stain. So is Sonic Forces, except Sonic 06 tried new things, sort of. Sonic Forces just recycled the fucking wisps. Now, getting off of the Sonic side, I want to see a new Nights into Dreams game. And what Nights into Dreams was like a really weird, outlandish franchise they did on the Dreamcast, and it led to Balan Wonderworld being made. But
Yucky.
I want Sega to make a new Nights so they can say, "Hey, Balan Wonderworld, this is how you make a game like this. What the hell were you doing back there, jacking off?"
Got him.
Next, I do not want to see a new Puyo Puyo because we just got Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, but I do want to see a new Madeo Monogatari. And what that was before there was Puyo Puyo, there was an RPG series, a turn-based RPG series on the Sega Saturn and the TurboGrafx 16 that had all the characters, except they actually used the abilities that they say in the Puyo games. Basically, everything they are that led them to what they were in the Puyo Puyo games. And I don't think there's been a single Madeo Monogatari game that was localized in English, but Sega's been a lot more friendly with localizing games in English these days because of the Atlas side of things and how when they released Persona 4 Golden on PC, it was successful. Now, my next prediction, this won't happen. This will not happen. I want them to make a new Bonanza Brothers game. Bonanza Brothers was my favorite Sega Genesis game. You can beat that game in school because it's like a 40-minute game. And as I continue to play it like once per day in seventh grade, I would get all sorts of strategies, and I'm an expert at that game. I could beat it in 30 minutes if I wanted to. The first thing I ever did on my PC besides the drawing tablet was beat Bonanza Brothers. And I even bought Bonanza Brothers, even though I can play it for free off of Steam for $4. And when it showed up on my desktop screen, it said Sega Genesis Classics because it was part of a collection. First thing I did, even though there were 30 other games with it, I changed that description to just say Bonanza Bros. Because that's all I'm playing. I'm not playing Sonic the Hedgehog. What the hell are you doing? Next, I want to see a good Super Monkey Ball game because when I fired up the Dolphin emulator and I sacrificed a controller to the gaming gods, the first game I played was Super Monkey Ball 2. That game is a masterpiece. I know it was made for the arcades and pop in a quarter to beat this puzzle and all, but I love the challenge of all the levels. I love how there's no guardrails, so if you screw up remotely, you fall off. That's not sarcasm. I love the challenge. I love hard games. We'll be getting into that later. Next, I want to see a remake of Rystar, hand drawn, because that's also one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. And I used to play it on my iPad, and I even have it on this phone, and I play it on airplane mode, so no fucking ads show up. I'm not paying $5 to play Rystar. I can play it on my PC for free if I wanted to. I even know the cheat code to choose any level you want in the game. I want to see a remake of Dynamite Heady, which was a really, really weird Sega Genesis game that they like changed a lot for the American version compared to the Japanese version. And both versions are great. The soundtrack is incredible for the Genesis, and it was handled by Treasure, which was like a subsidiary of Sega back in the day. And everything they touched turned to gold. I want to see them return and make a Dynamite Heady if they still exist. And the same goes for Comic Zone, which is another Sega Genesis game that takes place inside of a comic book and complete with speech bubbles, sound effects, like pages flipping as you go into the next level. It was perfect, but it was limited by the hardware. And I want to see a comic zone that's actually like in a comic with actual art because they can do that now. And my final wacky ass prediction that I would really hope happens but will not happen. Xbox buys Sega. Could you imagine? Could you imagine what Game Pass would be like if that happened?
Be fucking wet dream.
Your turn for Sega.
Um, I actually did say that I hope they announce that Xbox like bought Sega because isn't Sega struggling right now?
Every now and then the news breaks out that like Sega has to close their Japanese arcades, but that was
Mhm.
because of COVID. I think
Yeah.
that Sega, they own Sonic. They can't be doing that bad, and they own Atlas with the Persona franchise. That's huge, and I
Mhm.
think they're going to reveal Persona 6 as well. So I believe they are in good hands because they can outsource any game they make to another studio. They're Sega. They're huge. They're too big to fail. But then again, they said that to the Titanic, and we know how that went.
Yeah, and also I think that Sega is the only Japanese video game company that's not pure evil. And anyway, moving on from that, um, I think that they're gonna show off things for the new Sonic game, but also there I guarantee you, if this shows up for Xbox, then it'll probably show up for Xbox. But I guarantee you, they're gonna port at least one um Persona game to Xbox. Unfortunately,
My mind would be blown if they did that because they don't even port those games to Nintendo besides spin-offs. And seeing those on Xbox is like the deal breaker to like
Mhm.
getting more Japanese players to play Xbox. That would be gigantic. As much
Yeah,
as you and I would hate to admit that.
yeah. I'm sure the games are good. The fan base is awful. I'm sorry. All right. Also, I wanted to add one thing to Capcom. I forgot to say.
Capcom.
Um, I think they're gonna show off a new DLC for Resident Evil 8, or the
Those
concept.
games have DLC.
Yeah, they had they already planned like a bunch of DLCs for 8. 7 had a bunch too. So
Oh, then it's gotta happen then.
yeah.
Oh, Lady Dimitrescu
Oh,
backstory
Lady
DLC.
Boo!
You play as her now.
Lady Boo! All
Dies
right,
3 minutes
Nintendo.
in.
Yucky.
Oh, Nintendo.
Oh, what a shit show.
I'm gonna start with the obvious and then
Mm,
go into my wild ass predictions.
oh.
So, Bayonetta 3 will happen this year. You want to know when they announced it? Eighth grade. We're gonna be seniors, and we haven't seen gameplay of Bayonetta 3.
No, sir.
It was announced alongside Yoshi's Crafted World, the freaking Kirby Star Allies, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's title, and everybody coming back. That was like almost 4 years ago now. And
When Nintendo was good.
Breath of the Wild 2 is happening this year. We're getting a title, maybe even a price, $60. We're gonna find out who that new antagonist is. We'll get maybe like a 3 minute trailer with gameplay included, and everybody's gonna lose their minds, even though it's kind of what you're expecting. It's just Link running around in an open world, same as Breath of the Wild, except now it has a two.
Yep.
Sorry if that offended anybody. So
Nope.
first of all, with my Nintendo predictions, my wild Nintendo predictions, I want to see a new out of the blue IP that they really pushed. Like, remember the 3DS days when Yokai Watch came out and that was all they would talk about?
Yep.
I want to see something like that again. I don't know
You know what I
why.
don't want to see? I don't want to see ads like the fucking Splatoon trailer, the thing that tainted my image on that franchise.
That's what killed
You're
the Wii
king
U. They
here,
won't make that mistake
squid.
twice. It's like how they announced Arms in the Switch presentation, and when they revealed Splatoon at E3 for Wii U, which was a big risk, but it ended up working. And yesterday was the 6th anniversary of the Splatoon series.
So,
Speaking of Splatoon, Splatoon 3 will definitely be shown off because they
mhm.
had that big ass trailer ready to go in the Nintendo Direct, which means they also have Splatoon ready to go as well.
Yeah.
I am expecting on Mario's end for a main series title to be revealed because it's been 4 years since Mario Odyssey. Maybe it could be Mario Odyssey 2 because Isle Delfino was literally on Mario's globe in Mario Odyssey. You know there's unexplored potential for it. You know there's distant lands that Mario and Cappy have yet to go through. But
Mm.
I fail to see how they could come up with a coherent plot for this game. Like, what's Bowser gonna do this time? How is he gonna kidnap Peach this time? How are they gonna differentiate it? How are they gonna bring it back full circle in the ending? I have absolutely no idea how they're gonna tackle that. Mario Strikers. Nintendo
Huh.
bought Next Level Games like 3 months ago, and they developed the Mario Strikers games. I want to see that happen because when those games came out, it was like back when Nintendo would allow Mario to not be soft and friendly. In that game, he was edgy. When you throw Peach against an electric fence, it sounds like she's getting skinned alive. They don't do that in modern games. It's way much. It's way too friendly now. It's like New Super Mario Brothers crept its way into every aspect of Mario, and I want to see Mario kick somebody. I don't want to see jumping. I want to see violence. They
It's
don't
like
call it
Nintendo made it for kids.
they don't call it soccer in the Mushroom Kingdom. They call it war. Now I wrote this down in my predictions, but I think it's going to happen before E3. That new Nintendo Switch Pro is going to be like revealed at some point leading
Oh
up
yeah.
to E3. It won't be announced at E3. So
Mhm.
Nintendo's finally going to have a console that can run Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Mhm.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will have two characters revealed, and those are the final two characters. There won't be a bonus fighter. This is it. And in a perfect world, it's Gino and Waluigi. But realistically, I gave this some thought, and I think first it's going to be Crash, then they're going to reveal Demi Fiend from Shin Megami Tensei, because it's the perfect character Nintendo would pick. It's like nobody knows who he is except people in Japan because that's where Super Smash Bros. Is made, and it's a character that would make a lot of people mad. And he probably has a sword. All I know is his name and his face.
Mhm.
In a perfect world, I would want a new 2D Donkey Kong Country by Retro Studios, but what they're really going to do is that, like, rumored Mario Odyssey developers making a 3D Donkey Kong, which is lame because the last 3D Donkey Kong was Donkey Kong 64. And when you think of Rareware Nintendo 64 games, it's your first fought Donkey Kong. It's not. It's Banjo Kazooie. And those
Mhm.
games are on the Xbox, which we are getting to. Every second draws us closer.
Yep.
In a perfect world, F-Zero, that won't happen this year. Same goes for Punch Out, even though they own Next Level Games. Um, I would really want the Me Maker and Metopia to be added into the built-in Me Maker on the console. Because have you seen what people are doing in
Yeah, it's pretty
Metopia?
fucking crazy.
They made a perfect one-to-one rendition of the when the imposter is sus face and put it in Metopia, and it works. It actually works. It doesn't look stupid or deformed or anything like that. It is one-to-one because that character creator is perfect. They are like sitting on a gold mine by not doing that.
You see, I'd have no requests for like new characters if the me creation was like that in Smash. Like,
And
go on.
I want to see Rhythm Heaven get put on Switch because
Mhm.
that's a rhythm game, and it's a game that you're supposed to play on the go because just to tap. That game was made for the Switch in handheld mode, yet it's not here yet. And maybe it's because the person who handles like produces the series is like sick or something like that, but they have to do it. It's been on every system since DS, and I actually want to play one of those games for once.
Mhm.
And I also am fully expecting Pokemon Legends Arceus to be
Yeah.
shown off. Maybe alongside the Switch Pro, you never know. But I think it's going to look a twinge better than it was in that first trailer we saw because that game's coming out January 2022. That's in 7 months from E3, which is fairly soon. They're not even delaying the game or anything of the
Yeah,
sort.
they have a
So I
lot of
expect Game Freak to learn from their mistakes, even though that is not happening. But
it's
yeah, I literally heard you laughing in the background.
yeah, it's not gonna happen. Never gonna happen. You think Nintendo or Game Freak will learn? Get the fuck out of here.
They don't have to if it makes them money.
Exactly. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. So Nintendo. I also put Beth of the Wild 2. It's just gonna be Link vibing, Zelda vibing, porn made in the first 5 minutes, and then everyone's gonna cheer at Zelda and Link doing nothing besides running around. And then that's what people are gonna think that Nintendo won E3. They're not
Maybe
going
you
to.
can play as Zelda in the
Oh
game.
my god!
That could
And
actually happen.
I wouldn't be surprised. If they were ever gonna do that, now is the time. Cause I don't have a problem with it, I think it's great, but, like, every video game is having the choice of, like, a male or female protagonist now. Far Cry is doing it for the first time, which I think is good, but, like, it's definitely gonna happen. Now is the time.
I'll be honest, I always pick the girl. I have no idea why. It's just there's probably a science to it. Like I want to pick someone I will never get to touch.
You okay, man?
When like I once knew somebody who I thought he was weird because when we played Mario Kart 7, he was like, I always pick the girls because I like to see their hair blowing in the wind. And I thought that guy was crazy, but now he's working in the U.S. Navy. That's not a joke. He is there.
Um, it's like that, Sonic fan who's like, "Who has 2 things of hair on the top of her head?" What's his name?
Uh, either Chris Chan.
No, the one that's like, "Top 10's hottest Sonic
Oh,
characters."
I don't know his name, but we both know him because of that video.
He's my hero.
Grab a piece of popcorn, cause here we go.
Alright, so I also put down, Legends of Arceus or whatever, fuck off. The game's still gonna look bad. Um, and then I also put that they are gonna show off both, Smash characters. Like Ryan says, in a perfect world, one of them is Gino, the other is Master Chief. I would have
I
preferred
said
Scorpion.
Waluigi.
No, fuck Waluigi. Yeah, fuck you, Michael. I said that. Um, uh, in a perfect world, uh, one of the shitty fighter characters would have been Scorpion. You know, a cool sword fighter character. But you know, it is what it is. But it's definitely gonna be one is going to be random anime character that people somehow give a smidge of a shit about, and
And
the
trash.
other is obviously going to be Monster Hunter
Monster
because
Hunter's a me costume. It's over for Monster Hunter
how do you know
because no other me costume has become playable.
that you
And
know of?
everybody is already saying Geno's out. Why isn't Monster Hunter? Why does Monster Hunter get special preference? And they didn't just reveal one Monster Hunter costume. They didn't just reveal two or three. They revealed four. And Rathalos was already a boss in the game, and there's already Monster Hunter music in the game. You'd think they would have done that already, right?
You think, but Nintendo, you think they listen? You think they care? You think they care about the rules?
Hey, maybe I'll be wrong, and in the future we can look back on this and you can make fun of me for it.
um, like think about it. The Monster Hunter's a sword fighter. He's appealing to both Americans and Japanese. Like it
Ryu,
makes sense, unfortunately. And that's it for Nintendo.
we're finally here.
The big boy.
The last stop on the train.
Hmm.
Xbox.
The king.
Let's start with my predictions.
Yep.
I believe these are my outlandish predictions, but I didn't have anything else written down. But I do have a number of things I am raring to go to talk about. I
Hmm.
did not mean to make that pun, but you know what? We're rolling
Bottom.
with it. First of all, I'm expecting a Halo Infinite release date, not just a release window. It's going to happen. They're going to show a new stage, new cutscenes. I really want to see the return of the Ghost vehicle, and not a red one, a purple one like in those original games. And I'm not talking about Halo 4 and 5 where they had a dark purple ghost. I mean the light neon purple ghost so I can use it in Forge and stuff like that. If they're bringing back the old Halo with all the old music, the freaking I want the ghost. I want that complete experience.
Eh.
I wrote this down before they said new Game Pass games would be
Mhm,
coming to the Xbox presentation. I wrote this specifically, not changing a single word.
mhm,
Big Game Pass drop. I'm talking 50 games big. Do you remember when they bought Bethesda and they announced like 20 games? I'm expecting a bigger drop than that. I'm expecting history to be made.
mhm.
Like, they're going to have major titles because that last Game Pass drop they had was like focused on adding games to the cloud, like Conan, Maneater.
I
What the
like both.
fuck are those?
I've been playing those. They're actually pretty fun.
Which one's better?
Um, Maneater, Conan, is just a slightly better arc, but Conan
I
has shoe bills in it, so that's award winning for me.
I read a comment on YouTube somewhere saying that the reason why Xbox 360 and Xbox backwards compatible titles stopped being added was because they were figuring out the Series X hardware architecture to see if they were able to do backwards compatible games. So I'm expecting either 360, original Xbox, or both to get more titles added because Xbox is on the prowl for preservation with this FPS boost stuff. So why not add more games and further their quest to save the Xbox half of the gaming industry before it's too late?
Yeah.
I would really want Playtonic Games to help Rareware make a video game that people care about for once. Like Everwild looks pretty good, but when you saw the Rareware logo, you didn't immediately think of a game like that. You thought of Banjo. I thought of Banjo. We thought of Banjo together. There's literally footage of it on this channel. And maybe a new Conquer, because when was the last time a Conquer game came out? Oh yeah, for the original Xbox, and it's backwards compatible. Maybe
Mhm.
it'll get FPS boost someday if it doesn't already run in 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So, in perfect world, this is me furthering my immense inane speculation. I wrote, in addition to Sega, Xbox also buys Rayman's dead corpse off of Ubisoft and revives him in the case that they don't do it. That won't happen, but that would be pretty great.
Mhm.
Um, this was also before the Xbox Twitter description came out. I want them to say world's premiere at least 10 times. That's going to happen, and I'm very, very excited. Like, even if all the games in this Xbox presentation are bad, if world premiere is there, they're good now.
Yeah.
And I also think it would be pretty cool if Nintendo put one of their games on
No.
Xbox for a change.
Nope.
Like maybe they'll put Splatoon 2 on it when
Negative.
Splatoon 3 is out on the Switch so they at least get something.
Nope.
What if something like really small like Punch Out comes to the Xbox?
Yeah.
And I skipped this one and saved it for last on purpose.
Mhm.
You're probably like, "Oh fuck, he's about to start talking about it." Where is the Cuphead DLC? Where
Um,
is it? They revealed it in like 2018, saying it would come out in 2019. It's 2021, and there is no release date in sight. Where is it? I have 200% completed Cuphead, not once but twice. That luxury only applies for 2 games. There is a third playable character who can double jump. I am not using the double jump. I want the pain. I want to rage. I want to feel it because that's what makes Cuphead great, including that hand drawn style. That's what keeps me going. And I understand it takes that long because of the hand drawn style, but I just want to see like at least one boss. I want to hear some music. I want to see some gameplay, maybe some cutscenes. And I know the game is just one additional aisle, but I'll take what I can get. I want more Cuphead besides those 20 bosses. I'm not satisfied yet. And I know they're not satisfied either because they got to make players rage some more. And that's what I'm ready for. This is the perfect time. It's been like the last time they made an announcement for Cuphead DLC was November, and they've just been talking about Cuphead is on sale. Me oh my, by golly. And I'm excited for the Cuphead show. But what I want is that game. I want the Cuphead DLC, and it's coming this year. It better come this year. That's it for Xbox.
I beat the dragon yesterday.
Grim Matchstick is pretty tough.
He is, but I found the strat.
Are we
All right.
putting Xbox and Bethesda under the same category?
Yeah.
Oh, then I've got more to
All
say.
right. Keep
Um,
going.
I'm expecting a teaser for the next Doom because I think it's been a pretty good amount of time since Doom Eternal came out. But at the same
No,
time, I
no,
also
they just finished the DLC thing like last month.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Then it's way too soon. How about another Elder Scrolls? Is that realistic?
Yes, they showed off a teaser trailer a couple years ago.
Okay, then that's gotta be at E3
Yeah.
then. Is Bethesda Elden Ring? No, no, they're not. I don't even know what the hell Elden Ring is. Uh,
That's
New
a good question.
Fallout maybe like Fallout New
Yeah.
Vegas too. I see that like Mohammed Enieb guy on Twitter talking about
I hate him.
it. He's
I'm going to
everywhere.
hunt him down.
Everywhere you go, you see his face.
His fat fucking stupid face.
And I don't care much for Bethesda. I've never been in a game by them, but Starfield better impress. That
Hmm.
game better change the gaming landscape. And
Yeah.
I know that all the PlayStation players will be zooming in 400x to make the game look bad, but it's going to look good. It can't disappoint. That and Halo Infinite are the leaders, the front runners of this year's E3, and
The
I'm fully expecting
Forerunners.
them to deliver. No, 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 silly Halo, Halo. Now it's your turn.
Okay. So I put Bethesda first. Sorry, I'm chewing on gum. Um so I put the Indiana Jones game. They're gonna put an actual trailer.
Ah, yes. I can't believe I forgot about it.
I, my prediction for it is it's going to be like a complete mix of Tomb Raider and Uncharted. That's a fair estimate or like prediction, right?
Yeah, that sounds like a game I would try once and then uninstall after getting lost.
I put Starfield. I to this day I don't know what the fuck Starfield is. And I
Neither does anybody.
Elder Scrolls 6, a trailer at least. I don't need a launch date. I just need a trailer. Um the guaranteed Elder Scrolls Online update. And Wolfenstein 4. It's like 40 years old or some shit this year. So I think they're gonna make a new Wolfenstein game.
Has there not been a Wolfenstein 3?
Yeah, there has.
There was Wolfenstein The New Order and
Yep.
Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus. So what happened in 3?
Um, it showed. I think there was one before New Order or some shit. I might be getting this
If you're
mixed up.
thinking of Youngblood, that's not a major installment.
Okay, then no, it's not. I think there's one before Young Blood that's not really that important, but it's still start off like the new franchise thing.
The one they're announcing should probably be Wolfenstein 3 because I don't think he's like beaten Hitler yet in the timeline. He's still out there in those games.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona. All right. And then I put for the Big Daddy, Philly Spence, God,
World
Aya,
premiere.
the Prometheus. He will obviously show off Halo Infinite, new graphics, and I think, and everyone else is saying, they're probably gonna put out a multiplayer beta just to test it out. Um, I'm gonna say that they're gonna put out a trailer for both Forza Horizon and Forza because
Oh
it's been
yeah,
a long time since
definitely.
both.
They're definitely showing gameplay for that new Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, Motorsport sucks. Horizon's where it's at.
I don't even know what's different about. Oh yeah, one's open world and one is not.
One is just turn right, turn right, turn right. All
And
right.
yet it's one of Xbox's biggest franchises.
Motorsport is shit. Everyone knows Forza for Horizon. Um, so I put Gear 6, at least a trailer for it.
I don't think they're gonna do that for some reason.
Eh.
It just doesn't feel like a Gears year. It feels like a perfect
It
dark
doesn't
kind
feel
of
like
year.
Gears here. I put some like 2 to 3 random new IPs. Don't know what, no clue, but I think there's gonna be some good new IPs there.
I hope there are platformers.
And finally, I'm going out on a limb, whether it's in Halo Infinite, and I think it's going to be like some sort of Doom and Halo crossover.
They have to do that eventually at some
Yeah.
point. Like, it would be a huge missed opportunity if they didn't go for it.
They're definitely gonna Doom guys more in Halo in it.
That would be super exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps everything out. Before we go, Ryan, who do you think will win E3?
Nintendo and Xbox are going to be at war this year. I'm talking an all-out war. I'm talking World War III, but it's for video games.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo could win if Xbox screws up, but
Yeah.
if Xbox carries out everything people are expecting, like the bare minimum, if they do it right, Xbox will win. If they screw this up, then Nintendo will win.
All right.
One thing we can say for sure is that Sony won't win because Sony won't be there.
Get fucked. All right. I think that Xbox will win because Nintendo is such shit that I don't think they really will have anything going for them. The only thing is that Nintendo fans will lick the feet of Big Daddy Nintendo no matter what.
Of
So
course, they'll go for anything.
yeah, well, I'm wrapping it up. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay fuck you.